So I just got done watching the Andrew Luck retirement press conference that was held last night after their preseason game, and man, I'm still in shock. Still in shock. So basically, he said, obviously mentally worn down. He talked about being stuck in a cycle for the past 4 years, with just being hurt, hurt rehab, and then playing and getting hurt again, and then just going through the rehab and just always being in pain. He also mentioned that 2016 season where he played pretty much hurt the entire season and how he couldn't even practice. And he said if he had ever gotten back to that point where he felt like he had to play through pain again, he vowed to himself that he was going to choose himself and his health over, the game of football. He also took a good bit of time to give a lot of players and people that he was around some praise and thanks, up from Jim Irsay to the doctors to, Scott Tolzien, former players, current players like Eric Ebron, and he gave a lot of praise. Well, not really surprisingly, but, he gave a lot of praise to T.Y. Hilton, saying that he was, the best player he's ever played with. And that's high praise coming from him, seeing as he's played with Reggie Wayne. He's throwing balls to him. So very high praise for T.Y. Hilton. But overall, this is very sad to see another player go down early in his career just based off injury and mental health, Now, a lot of people don't understand the toll that, football, the sport of football can take on you mentally, especially when you deal with injuries. Even just playing football can be very, mentally challenging, along obviously physically, but imagine having to deal with just always being injured, always being in pain, always have to be in that doctor's office, always having to have your body checked, and it's just like, it's demoralizing, and it makes you feel less of yourself. It makes you feel like you can't do the things you want to do. And especially when you love the sport that you're playing and you've been playing it since you were a child, and just to go out there and feel like you have to worry about getting tackled or taking a certain hit somewhere at a certain part of your body, it takes a toll on you. Mental health is a real thing in the NFL, and people need to understand that just because these players make millions of dollars doesn't mean that they're robots. They still have feelings. They still have the ability to think for themselves. And, and people have to understand that, and have to be a little bit more sympathetic to these players, because it's not easy. It's not easy being an NFL player. It really isn't, And I believe that Andrew made the right choice. You have to, at some point in your, career and your life in general, you have to just start taking yourself, holding yourself accountable for, your feelings and your health, both physically and mentally. So, and that's what he's done. That's what he did here. And there shouldn't really be any hate or backlash or booing towards him, because he's doing what's best for him. And that's all that matters. That's all that matters. That man is doing what's best for him and his family, keeping himself healthy. These guys have families, and at the end of their career, they want to be able to have the ability to go outside and play with their sons and daughters, and be able to, just walk normal, and be able to go and, spend quality time with their family, and not have to deal with, walking a certain way, their back hurting, and just wanting to be normal, just be normal people at the end of the day. And that's, they deserve that much for, what they put their bodies through and what they put their minds through, and they deserve that. Now, there's a lot of hate going towards the old general manager of the Colts, Ryan Grigson, and, rightfully so. And it's crazy to even think about, what did they draft? Right now, I'm looking at their draft history from 2012 to 2016, and there were a lot of whiffs. In a 4-year span for the Colts, the only notable names from their drafts are Andrew Luck, 2012, T.Y. Hilton, 2012 in the third round, and then Ryan Kelly, their first round pick in 2016. And the rest of these players are either gone, on different teams, or just, undrafted, or not really making an impact. Now, from 2007 and on, they got it together with, Malik Hooker, Quincy Williams, Quentin Nelson on that offensive line, and Darius Leonard, who was, I believe, the defensive rookie of the year last year. And, we'll see how their draft picks that they made this year turn out. I think Rocky Sin will be a decent corner, but back to the offensive line problems. not only have they struggled to draft, solid offensive linemen and even sometimes running backs to help protect Andrew Luck, they've flopped in the preseason, in the offseason to, getting those guys, maybe even some veteran guys around that offensive line that can help, protect him. And it's not like they haven't had the money to, because I know last year or this past offseason, they were like the top 3 in available cap space. So they could have gone out there and paid somebody, and they still have an opportunity. Maybe they can make a move for Trent Williams and help, Jacoby Brissett stay healthy. But it seems like it's too late for Andrew Luck, and, he's going to call it quits, hang them cleats up. And, sad to see, man. I was a huge Andrew Luck fan. I've always wanted him to thrive, and even though they're kind of an AFC rival to my team, the Chargers. But I just as a player, man, seeing him take that 1-15 team to the playoffs the next year, that's a story right there. That's something he's got to go in the Hall of Fame probably just off of that. Well, maybe not just because of that one reason, but you get what I'm saying. Andrew Luck, without Andrew Luck, the Colts are not a playoff team, and with him, they are a bona fide playoff team. It's really weird to see how the shift it shifts from just that one player can make that big of a difference. It is the quarterback position. It's the most important position in football, and you can't win anything without a quarterback. But we've seen more times than not, mediocre teams or mediocre quarterbacks, prosper just with having a good team around them, mainly on the defensive end. That's probably why it doesn't really work out that way for the Colts, because they don't really have that great defense yet. It's just kind of led by Andrew Luck. And one last note on this subject to the fans, or the so-called fans that booed him after that preseason game, y'all need to check yourselves. If you felt any type of way, upset, or you felt like you were betrayed because Andrew Luck decided to retire, you need to check yourself, because that's that man's life, and you have to respect his decision to walk away from the sport that he loves, for the betterment of himself and his family. You have to respect that. And that just shows the mentality of some of these fans, thinking that these players are just robots, or they're just supposed to, play football because they make millions of dollars. That just shows off that ignorant mentality, and I really dislike that. And we have to look at these people as human beings. They're human beings at the end of the day, just like you. So but that's all I got on this topic, man. Make sure y'all let me know what y'all think down below in the comments. Make sure y'all hit that like button. Make sure y'all hit the subscribe button. Make sure you hit the notification bell next to the subscribe button so you can be updated whenever I upload a video. That's all I got today, and I'm out. Deuces.